It's Friday night, but bowling is greasy. Hey, let's not fight, just fire up the VC. Our hometown haunt has everything we could need. Mom and Pop Video Shop. Mom and Pop, whoa, that place is groovy. At Mom and Pop, where you can rent films. It's Mom and Pop Video Shop. Make Mom and Pop your favorite Friday night place. Mom and Pop Video Shop.
Welcome to Mom and Pop Video Shop. I am Joel, joined as always by Tyson.
I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I?
Yes, and yes, and I'm represent with Wolfman. Well, you can't see it now. Wolfman's got nards, and so
Yes, indeed.
we are doing our first live stream. Let's see, what we originally said we're going to do, like 2 a month.
Oh yeah,
we meant a year is what we actually meant. Because
it's semi-annual.
Yeah, exactly. It's like biannual or whatever. It's been a minute, but we are joined for this return. We're doing here in October for spooky season by the only one. The only one. Well, yeah, the only one who would talk to us, quite frankly, that's talked to us before. Gareth of Video Tasties is here. And obviously, we are hopefully streaming on his channel as well. We've already got a couple comments, so we'll shout out to them in a second. And we are joined by a new friend for some, an old friend for others, Jake.
my oldest dearest friend, Jake the Snake Gramlich.
Oh,
And I said, Joel, you were here, but I believe Jake is the only one out of the four of us that I think legitimately was employed by a video store at some point.
I did work for a Blockbuster for like 2 months.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
And,
well, then never mind.
Yeah,
Danny, don't I
and
feel
then
like
I
an asshole?
doesn't count.
I knew you worked for the theater. I didn't know you actually worked for the.
No, I worked for the movie theater. Yeah, much longer than the video store for sure. Real quick, we got let's see here. We got Wilkie's Movies and Music. Hey all, hey there, Wilkie.
Howdy-ho.
You see, we got Horror Movie Fanboy. Hey buddy, hello pals. Let's see here, we got it's Nikki YT. Was lost why Gareth wasn't on top.
Exactly. This is.
I feel like there's an obvious joke to be made there.
That's some low hanging fruit.
I know. Gareth is the bottom for this.
Power bottom.
Power bottom for this live stream. Yeah. So we are here.
I got a
talking,
hiccup over that.
we are here to talk about gateway horror movies. Now, I wanted to give us some semblance of structure. Gareth, obviously, I didn't give you too many directives. I sort of assumed you might come bearing VHS, since that's what you are known for, I presume. Jake, obviously, you are not pressured to obviously have the level of obsession that some on this stream do with the VHS. So you could just talk, share, whatever you want to do. Tyson, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Me? I'm just looking. I'm trying to look like Greg Mortis.
Yeah, that's what, yes. Actually, yes, I see it. Yeah,
No,
It's
I'm
like-
getting Aquaman.
I
Or
think it's
yeah.
more. I'll take that too, but I think it's leaning more towards like Spawn Ranch and Manson Family than.
Yeah,
than
if
Greg
we're
Mortis,
being
but
really honest,
I'm
that seems
going
like
for it.
that's far more accurate. Yes.
As a fan of the channel, I just figured I'd pour myself a drink and just sit back and watch the show. Like
Okay.
You're gonna need it, homie.
If I have something to say,
You're
I
gonna
will.
need it.
Front row seat. You have a front row seat. We are sorry. In
I love
advance.
car crash television.
Yes, and that's pretty much what this is going to be, because we are talking 13 gateway horror movies. Now, we are going to segue, I'm sure, in between these. They are also in no particular order. I just purely wanted to give us some framework to go by, so we were just randomly throwing crap out there.
I think it's 3-0. Okay.
Okay, wow. So I have a couple that are featured here, but most of mine are. I only have a few to show. But I figured what we could do is if you have any of these, Gareth, I contemplated sending this to you beforehand. Tyson and I were discussing that. Like, hey, we should sit, but I thought it'd be more fun to like surprise you guys, see if you completely disagree with us too. But these are in no particular order. It's not like favorite to least favorite or whatever. And there's several
Plus,
here.
I think it's going to be a lot more fun to see how unhinged Gareth really is as we randomly throw stuff out, and he just like starts pulling, like doesn't even miss a beat.
One. Got
you know
that
what I
one.
mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
no pressure. But so to start us off, now this movie I feel like might be the most controversial, not because it's not a horror movie. You could make the argument it's too intense for gateway horror. You know what? Actually, you know what am I doing? I'm getting ahead of myself.
I spit on your grave.
No, yes, it is actually. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gareth. What?
If I had a copy of that, I was going to bring it, but
and that would have been funny.
The joke was ruined.
A double feature of that and Last House on the Left, and we were set. I think the first question that should be answered is, what is to you guys gateway horror?
I agree.
Okay, then answer it.
Okay.
Well, I think gateway horror is much like a gateway drug, in that it's the first one that you try. It's your introduction into the, let's face it, lifelong obsession that I think diehard horror fans have. It's everybody can kind of remember that first sleepover, their first whatever. That first movie that was like, okay, I'm a weirdo, but I'm not the only one that loves this shit. So I'm going to bring it up now, just because before it slips my mind. I don't even know if Jake remembers this, but he was the one that introduced me to the Evil Dead franchise. The first time I ever saw
Evil Dead. Oh, hold on. So you're saying Evil Dead is gateway horror?
I'm not saying it's a gateway horror. I'm just saying look, I am the last person that needs to be the litmus test for how old one should be when they watch certain horror. So don't giant fucking grain of salt is what everybody needs to consume when I speak.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying, but that's one of those examples. Like I remember being at a sleepover at Jake's. You ever seen Evil Dead? I'm like, what? And I recognized the cover, but I'd never actually. And I was a late bloomer. I would have been like what, 8th grade, freshman year or something. I was really late to the Evil Dead thing. But the point is, gateway horror is a film or a film trilogy or a franchise that you're introduced to, usually at a young age, that then kind of opens the floodgates for the rest of your life to misery and blowing money on toys and posters and crazy shit and VHS and everything that comes with being a horror fan.
Okay. Fair enough. I will say, Gareth, I do apologize for covering your face with the banner. I just realized I did that. I was like, Gareth, where are you at? So here's the thing, and I see if everyone would agree. My thought was, yes, it is a movie that could be your sort of gateway into horror, but typically it's going to be viewed as being theoretically more kid friendly, but it oftentimes has something very like jacked up in it that traumatizes you as a child. So that's what I think of when I hear gateway horror. You know what I mean? Does anybody agree?
No, you're right.
You're right. Gareth, Jake, what do you guys
lots of.
I wasn't quite sure. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I wasn't quite sure whenever you said, talk to me about the stream, what gateway horror was. If you were considering it like, baby's first horror movie, are we talking about Halloween episodes of Charlie Brown? Are we going that? Or are we going, your kid's getting a little older and they're interested, and what are you going to do to kind of push them into the door a little bit without,
that's more what that was my angle. The last one you said, that's more my angle.
One of the reasons I really wanted Jake on the show is how old's Levi now? 12?
12. Yeah.
So Jake's got a 12-year-old son, and he's constantly texting me, "Hey, we're watching Poltergeist. We're watching Monster Squad. We're watching." I think he sent me Child's Play, which I don't know if we can count that as gay. But the point is,
hold on. What do you say, Tyson? 1 second. It's Nikki YT says, or I'm assuming that YT says for YouTube. Child's Play 3 was my first horror movie. I'd argue Chucky is suitable for 4-year-olds, right? Not to bring up really
Tyson
tragic.
Says yes.
Well, hold on. Not to bring up really tragic, dark things from the UK, but isn't there something with Child's Play 3 and a couple of kids that blamed it for like letting them kill like a 2-year-old, and it was like a whole thing?
The newspapers blamed it.
That's what it was. Sorry.
It had nothing to do with it.
Wait,
in the end.
the media blamed? What? You don't say. Yo, that only happens over here, I thought. Our buddy Pumpkinhead Peter says, "Hey, what's up, Peter?"
Hey, Peter.
My buddy.
Hey, Peter.
And then Tony the Lone Rider Smith, welcome back, yo, man. Good to see you live again. But shouldn't you be doing this show from your aquarium? Fair enough. Actually, with as much flooding as we've had around here lately, due to nature trying to kill all of us, I probably could make one of those. And he put a fish tank. I know
the creature walks among us. The creature walks
well,
among us. He
yes,
was out of water most of the time, so he'd be fine.
That's true.
But no, the point is, here's a dad that's trying to introduce his son into horror films and trying to ease. Responsible parents will
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
handpick certain right. My parents, on the other hand, are like, hey, here's $10. Go to the video store, grab some Dominoes on your way home. We don't give a shit what you rent. Have at it. So,
what about you, Gareth? You grew up in the nation of the video nasty, so.
Yeah, they were all banned, so I didn't get to see them.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But yes,
does gateway horror mean the same thing? Like, what does it mean to you?
Well, I was thinking, yes, it was like the first steps of horror.
Yes.
But I was a scaredy cat kid.
Me too. I was too, actually.
I was probably late teens before I started watching horror films. But I did, as we were half watching earlier, Salem's Lot.
Oh, that's a great one. It's not on the list.
I saw came out on TV here in 81, 2 years later.
Yep.
But it scared the hell out of me.
Oh, it is, because I don't know what's scarier, Barlow or that kid at the flipping window, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Or Jeffrey Lewis.
Oh yeah, yes, he's in the rocket chair. Yeah,
Look at me.
That's what I mean. It's like that. That movie. Okay, so it's a TV movie, late 70s. There's nothing in it. Yeah. My kids could watch that, no problem. That's the kind of thing where those little moments are going to just destroy them.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing too that and this makes me a very cynical person, but the thing I love about gateway horror is I think there should be an ingredient in there that could traumatize and scare the shit out of your kid, but not necessarily the nudity and the extra, last out on the left, none of that shit. But I think that's a great point, though. Made for TV movies, I think, are a great source for gateway horror. I mean, Joel, if you want to plug Terror on the Tube, I mean, you guys have got years worth of. What's the one that still to this day I know is one of your favorites? The Terrifying.
Dead of
it's
Night.
Almost like
Dead of
like
Night.
a monkey, almost like a monkey's paw type story.
Yeah,
right?
it was Dead of Night. It was a Dan Curtis. Richard Matheson wrote the stories. I believe Dan Curtis directed or at least produced all of them. Bobby. It's like the Trilogy of Terror, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got that. It came out, I think, a year or two. I can't remember what year was Trilogy of Terror. It was around the same time frame, late 70s. And just like Trilogy of Terror, the final story, Bobby, is so friggin' creepy.
Yeah.
So creepy, for sure. A few people, by the way, that have left comments. I'm going to get back to your comments because actually in them, they mentioned movies that may be on this list. So I will get to those in a second. I do think this is hilarious. Tony says, going to the video store, renting Shannon Queen movies were my video nasties. I believe that's supposed to be a rain shower.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
LOL.
a tribute to you suffering through the rain.
And I don't know if Tyson has got like another account going called Mom and Pop. We put responsible parents wouldn't let your kids drink scotch with hose water. Well, then my parents weren't responsible.
Was it you, Jake, or is it somebody that's got to be somebody that knows us real well?
I was thinking it is your mom.
It could be. Yes,
that'd be
Jake.
amazing. If that's your mother,
I'm just
and
saying,
your mother just
you think RJ McCready's a badass with a bottle of J&B scotch? You have not seen me and Jake on a patio killing a bottle of J&B. Mixing it with hose water because we got too drunk and lazy to walk in the house and use water from the sink. So.
All right. So here we go. Right? It's already been mentioned. I figured I'd get this one out at the beginning, which sounded dirtier than I meant it to be.
Hang on.
Hold on. Where we got?
Excuse me while I whip this
on the nosy, Jake.
That's got to be my mom.
That's awesome.
Hi, Mom.
This is why dude, your mom she rocks. The fact that she's on here trolling us makes me so happy. Right. That is amazing.
And by the way, Frankenstein quotes.
I don't know if I could shift us around. So
no, don't worry about it.
No, I'm going to put me on the bottom because I don't want you to have to keep getting the one gets covered.
Oh yeah, I prefer to be on top.
There you go. There you go. You're now I'm the power bottom.
And Jake and I just feel like this, like we've walked into the wrong bar. We're not sure.
No, you're just part of the human centipede now. All right, here we go. Speaking of gateway horror, right? Am I right? It's a different kind of gateway, but
I get it.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Horror Movie Fanboy. Just sharing the land of the creeps that the live stream was going. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, here we go.
Awesome.
First up, a no-brainer. Poltergeist, they're here. I put synopses for these just because I wanted to have something on the, and I'm realizing I'm gonna have to remove, or rather, let me get rid of our little logo thing so it's not covering up the stupid whatchamachingy. There we go. But we've got you got Poltergeist for us there? Hold on, let me bring it.
It's a 15 here. It's a shit poster.
Hold on. Let me
see. Gareth always says it's shit posters, but it's like UK version, so I love them because I've never.
Well,
seen
yeah, I
most
guess
of
it's
these.
different, but yeah, I like
That's
the
what's cool.
American
It's definitely
version.
different to us.
Yeah. That's cool.
Toby Hooper.
Cool.
Again.
All right. So synopsis for those that don't know, which I wonder like who's watching this kind of a thing and doesn't have a clue. A suburban family faces haunting phenomena after their home is built over a graveyard, which is basically kind of what it's about. Yeah. So this movie, I picked this image of the family up here in the right corner because one of my earlier memories is, do you remember here in the States, we had obviously like HBO and Cinemax and things like that. And we would get these, if you had cable, if you were one of the fancy pants kids like I were before my parents got divorced and my dad went bankrupt. We had
here
cable.
we go. Child of divorce. Okay.
I was a kid of the 80s. It was a prerequisite. So we had we get this like thing in the mail. It was like a TV guide, but only for like the cable channels. And I was like second grade. So 84, 83, going on 84. It must have been Poltergeist was first coming onto either HBO or Movie Channel or Cinemax. And that image was in the guide. That's the only image that was there. It said something about Poltergeist. And I remember taking it I went to a Grace Lutheran private school through 5th grade. And I remember taking it to school, even at that age, to like show, like, I don't know what this is. But I remember just that image kind of freaked me out. And I just knew enough about it. My parents, I think I'd heard them talking about seeing it and it freaking them out. So, and the clown obviously goes without saying is a thing that's very traumatic for kids. And, you know, some of us may have them behind us.
Right. 1-to-1 scale replicas.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I think Poltergeist is a true horror film. Like, it's not just a gateway horror movie. It's a true, like, it doesn't, showing it to a little kid, you're asking for it because it's legit scary, right?
Yeah,
it's scary as shit. Yeah.
They'll be sleeping in your bed.
That's one of those I was talking about where that trauma ingredient is certainly there. And it's funny because I know that I saw this as a young kid too, but I don't remember this being one of the films that traumatized me. But I think it's because I was so numb, having at that point already seen most of the Friday the 13th that had come out to that at that point and everything else that again, I had no concept and still really don't have a concept of what true gateway horror is. But I think Poltergeist goes without saying. If folks are at home taking notes as to which gateway horror films they should watch with their kids, this is certainly on there. Jake, you just watched this with Levi not too long ago, yeah? For the first time?
Yeah, we watched it last weekend.
Did you like it?
A couple of weird things. Yeah, he loved it. I mean, it's a great movie.
Yes, it is.
Whether it's horror or not. But
yeah,
a couple things I thought funny. One, he didn't know their hair line. He hadn't heard that before. But whenever he saw the clown, he's like, it's going to be in the chair, and he's going to look away, and then it's going to be gone, and he's going to be under the bed. So he saw a clip on something on YouTube or some reference for it, but he didn't. He knew that, but he didn't know they're here.
Yeah.
And the other thing was whenever one of the first scenes, whenever they're in the room and the TV, and there's that wispy like hand that comes out. Once he saw that, he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he goes, that looks like the pirate ghost from the Garfield Halloween.
From Garfield.
Yes.
And I was like,
exactly.
And by the way,
it sure does.
I watched that almost every year since I remember when it played live in 1985, and I recorded it on tape back then. And I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. We had a VCR, so I recorded it. I remember my sister and I watched the hell out of that thing, and I watched it. Ever since our kids were little, we watched it. And when they were little, and I remember being, I was 9 or 10 when it came out.
That shit was scary too,
dude,
man.
That old
guy
man
in the chair
with the drool coming down.
110 years ago.
Yeah. Believe
they know
friend.
where we are. They know we're here.
Yeah,
with that gnarled ass.
Yeah, what Garfield does, because they know where you are. I love it. It still holds up for me because I'm an idiot. All right, so horror movie fanboy, cover my face up. Poltergeist is a perfect fit. I watched it when I was 7 on cable alone. When it hit HBO, scared me so much. See, that is a wonderful gateway horror trauma story.
Well,
whenever
and I think
I
we at
watched
least
it
need
as a kid, I remember the guy when he pulls his face off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
But now
that's
Levi,
yeah.
who plays PS5, Resident Evil games.
Yeah,
that's funny looking.
Yeah.
Like part of the thing whenever I'm showing him stuff now is I purposely kind of started with older movies where there's not a lot of CGI, so everything's thing. And some of it's funny, some of it's creepy. He kind of that balance is he kind of decides for himself, and then I know how far I can push the next.
And Tony says Toby Hooper. Yes, always the great Toby Hooper. And also, they're all here is the actual line. Is it? I'll take your word for it, Tony. But I feel like I always when she goes, they're here. Like I feel like
the first one was here. But
man, no, she says. Does she say it again? The second one? I don't know if she says it. Is it one of those?
They're here on the back of mine.
It says there. So as far as the marketing people, not they're ever wrong.
No, yeah, they're never wrong.
Never wrong. All right, moving on to our next one. Again, these are in no particular order.
I think we need to honorable mention the Poltergeist 2, though. The sequel.
I was going to say,
I like
you want to talk about nightmare fuel?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. God.
Oh, you lost, honey.
Yeah.
Are you there, child?
Yeah. That Kane is great. He's so great. Kane, right? That was his name.
Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. Lady in White. 1988.
I've never seen this,
dude.
What the?
I've never seen it.
You've never? Oh, okay, Gareth. You've never heard of this? You ever seen this?
No.
Brother.
Black in the UK in 1988.
Oh no! Yeah, no. So late. Have you heard of
kid
this?
From Witness?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Lucas Haas. Yes. Have you? So Jake, you've seen it?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay.
I think my mom showed this one to me.
It was written and directed by Frank LaLoggia. And as the premise states, a young boy witnesses a murder from the past and is haunted by the ghost of a girl trying to solve the mystery of her death. So it takes place in like the early 60s. As you can see from this picture of here of little Lucas Haas, it is very Halloween centric. In fact, it's like right before Halloween, he gets mild spoiler alert for the opening of the movie. He gets locked in a coat closet overnight. And that's how he sees this ghost girl and he witnesses her being strangled. But the killer is not visible. He doesn't see that person. And so, and it's, dude, it is so creepy. It is great. It is a fantastic, highly underrated movie. It also stars, it was Katherine Hellman, who's in that other picture, Mona from Who's the Boss, Alex Rocco, who's a very famous actor, I believe was in The Godfather, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Yes, he was the Godfather. Yes.
Yeah.
He was Mo Green. He was Mo Green. He was Mo Green in The Godfather. Yeah. Jason Presson, who's in The Explorers, plays the older brother. Jared Rushton, who is in Pet Sematary 2 and Big, plays kind of funny. He plays a bully in this, like he did in Pet Sematary 2. And yeah, dude, it's if you have not seen Lady in White,
it's popped up on a lot of other lists for other things I've been researching lately. So it's definitely going on my to-watch list, going on the pile.
Oh, you know what, Tony? This is cool. It's back to Poltergeist real quick. He says the original line is "They're all here," and I can see her mouth. She mouths it. That's okay. I see where you're because she says they're here, but it's one of those. If you look, they dubbed her over. All right, probably because they realize they're all here sounds not as good as they're here.
Yeah,
it's got more of a sing-songy vibe to it. Cool. All right.
Okay.
So Lady White, that was my next pick. And this actually is in my top tier because I love this movie so much.
Was it theatrically released?
I think so, but I don't think it did very well. I think it kind of bombed.
I've never heard of it.
It's a PG-13, late 80s, very atmospheric, it's like very cozy and homey, but there are moments in it that are downright creepy. And it's pretty dark. Like even though it's PG-13, by the end, it goes to some darker territory.
Check it out.
I mean, child murder, it's not exactly a upbeat topic, so definitely worth checking. And it's horror. It's a gateway horror to me because you could be confused, think, oh, it's just a little ghost story. It's PG-13. It seems kind of, if you watch the trailer, it's almost very kind of like Spielbergian vibe, mixed with Stephen King. It's kind of got that sensibility. So Ghostbusters, I felt like had to be put on here.
Yeah,
I think Ghostbusters is comedy way more than horror, but I know
that's the thing I was going to bring up. Too is I feel like horror comedy is a great place to start. I know, like for me, Young Frankenstein was the only version of Frankenstein I knew for the longest time. And I was going through my shelf and just happened to spot The Burbs. I mean, there's parts of The Burbs that are creepy as hell too, but the majority of it is laugh out loud funny. I mean, I think if you can find that, you know what I mean? was trying to think of another one that was not Clue, but there was we talked about Haunted Honeymoon not too long ago, right, Joel?
Transylvania 65000.
Yeah, movies like that are Private Eyes and
yeah,
things
with
that,
John,
you know,
that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, there's some creepy ass visuals, but they don't last very long, you know, before the comedy kicks back in, and I think that's a good way to kind of build up your armor, I guess, for some of the more horrific.
Yeah, and I feel like in Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters,
the only thing that was like to me, like in hindsight, scary is when Dana gets taken. Like that's legit.
Oh,
when she gets grabbed, like that's it gets pretty intense. What?
I have a piece of you know how we always like to do our win a free drink at a bar trivia.
Yeah.
So the effects team for Ghostbusters 1984, it's the same effects team that Tom Holland used for Fright Night. So the scene of the library ghost where she turns into like the weird, almost like elongated horse head skeleton ghost.
Yeah.
That's the same like prop that's Jerry Dandridge at the end of Fright Night. If you look close, it's like the same. Yeah, it's like the same skeleton because it was the same. That's why they're so stoked. It's like we're getting the same. You know, these guys just did Ghostbusters, and we're getting the same effects team. You know, so yeah. So there's your win a drink at a bar trivia.
So Castellar, Daniel Garcia, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Gateway Horror Lady White, my friend, you just missed it. We got it. And he made a few other comments here that I'm going to say because I don't want to give it away, but they may in fact be on the list. So, all right, The Gate. I feel like this is a gimme.
Yeah, I had that.
Probably this is my favorite gateway horror movie.
It's up there for you. I love the Minions. I actually have 2 of the Minions in the shop here. I should have brought them over. I realize that now, but I'm not getting up.
We watched this 3 days ago, maybe.
Oh yeah.
It was your first time, yeah? See The Gate?
Yeah, I had.
I'm dying to know what you think.
That it has one of the single greatest gags, I think, in any practical effect, like in any movie, and that is everyone knows it. It's the dead farmer falling and hitting, and as soon as he hits, they scream. The kids are in the shot, and it's all just forced perspective. Matte painting. It's so
all the scenes with the Minions.
You can't see the join.
So underrated, the effects. Yeah,
yes,
it's so great.
The eye on the hand.
I used to scare the shit out of my wife. This goes back even before we were married, especially when I would drink a little too much and we would go to bed. The apartment we lived in, I told her that a construction worker died when they were making our building our apartment, and that he got stuck the concrete and never dug him out. So she'd never seen this. So I just totally ripped off that story and would tell her that there was a ghost of a dead construction worker still buried in the walls.
That's great.
It stuck with me. But man, this is one of this came out in 87. So I probably saw this 87, 88. So I was 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was 11.
But
I was 11.
I mean, we're calling it gateway horror, but come on, a 5 or 6 year old should not be watching The Gate. That's still way too young. But dude, how good was Steven Dorff in this too? He was 12 in this, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, dude, as a child actor, like you talk about underrated as a kid actor, man, he was brilliant in this.
Yeah. Yep. But it's like it's some legit scares to it. It's not, it plays it. I mean, it's obviously there's elements of it that we would call campy by today's standards. But so Gareth, what are your thoughts on The Gate? I didn't hear.
Oh yeah, it's great. I didn't see it till a lot later, but yeah, it's a great piece of kiddies fun.
Yes,
but with some genuine scares.
Yeah,
and like I said, the effects are just top notch.
And
let's do though.
Well, yeah, they did make 2. They did make 2, and I saw 2, but I will tell you now, I probably have not seen 2 since the 90s. So I remember.
Oh yeah,
I remember The Friend.
That's all about The Friend, right?
Yeah, The Friend came back.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah,
compared to this one.
And let's real quick here. We've got Tony says same team and visuals in Poltergeist as well. I'm assuming you mean for Ghostbusters. I think because I mean
for Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
and
what's his
Fright Night?
name?
Really cool. Yeah, I didn't know it was the same.
Is it Edlund?
Makes
Richard
sense.
Edlund.
That sounds correct. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, and then he also says, I was about to say I've seen some real great gagging in movies. I feel like that might be different than the gag I was referring to. Just a guess. Let's see here. We got here we go. Another Gate comment. Gate 2 went more into the lore, but was good. I don't remember, like my memory of it is I didn't hate it, Somebody who only
Right.
remembers I didn't like it. I don't remember disliking it. So I just have not seen it in 25, 30 years, however long it's been. So, let's see here.
Surely you're only 20 anyway.
Yes, that's correct. Let's see here. We got, hold on, this is fun. Backtrack Cinema. My gateway to horror was Jason Lives. First off, Jason Lives is my personal favorite. Friday the 13th. There we go. Wait, do it again, Garrett.
Backtrack Cinema is my homeboy. That
yes, Jason is correct.
That is my speed.
I tried showing this to my 10-year-old last week or 2 weeks ago. He made it to the opening titles and said he didn't want to watch it anymore.
Oh, really?
The James Bond credits? Yeah.
Was it because he thought it was dumb?
My
or
mom
he was
rented this.
scared?
I watched it with her.
I don't know. He doesn't watch films at
came
all.
out.
He's seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2. He's seen Beetlejuice and Monster Squad. But he's not interested in films at all. He won't watch a film. You say, "Oh, watch a film," and says, "How long is it? 90 minutes." Not interested. And then you say, "It's sit there watch TikToks or memes for like 22 hours." But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you put all of that time together, son,
you might enjoy it.
No, that's a good point though. With Jason Lives, though, I feel like if you're gonna look at the Friday the 13th franchise, that's a, I mean, again, a responsible parent would not show their 6 or 7-year-old. But if you're irresponsible like mine were, or you're a little bit cynical like I am, that's probably the one I would go with, as I think it's the least.
There's no TNA.
You'd have the least.
Not much blood.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to explain that type of stuff.
There's some dry humping, but
yeah.
Next up on the list, of course, Critters. I love Critters. It's funny. Yes. The funny thing about Critters,
Johnny, we go through this every time.
Yeah, Johnny something. I don't remember the last name.
Johnny Rocket,
no, it's
Johnny
not
Knight, Johnny Diamond,
no,
Johnny Dynamite.
No,
Damn it.
If you say it, I'll remember it. But it's Johnny something.
We went through this when we covered it too.
I think so too. Yeah,
anyway.
it's always like we had done our friggin' homework.
Yeah, it's a great choice though.
Yeah,
Jacob, have you done Critters with Levi yet?
No, not yet. It's on the list, but we haven't.
Critters is great. I like all the Critters, including the ones with DiCaprio and Angela Bassett. I like all the Critters, especially I love Critters too. I love a Mick Garris joint. I enjoy them quite a bit. And Critters was a movie that I was kind of messed up about as a child because my cousin was about 5 years older than me. Was a huge horror fan. He's the one that kind of got me more and more into horror. So like you, Gareth, I was a total wuss when it came to horror as a little kid, but I don't know if it was like a weird masochism. Like I would keep exposing myself to stuff that just would mess me up. And by the time I hit my 8th grade year, I'm I'm all in, right? But prior to that, I would be totally freaked out. But Critters, I was excited because I love Gremlins. So I'm like, oh, Critters. But my cousin had said he'd rented a movie I thought called Critters. It turned out it was a movie called Creepers, which was the American name for Dario Argento's Phenomena. And when you're 10 or 11 or however old I was, in my head, I always thought it was 8 or 9. But I'm like, well, Critters came out 86. If I thought it was Critters, it had to at least be 86.
What? What's the big deal?
It's just a monkey with a razor blade.
Oh my God, dude! Everything about it just traumatized me. And I didn't watch it for until I was an adult. It was only a handful of years ago. I finally saw it, and I was actually, A, love it. It's a great movie. But B, I could see why I was kind of traumatized. We've got actually comments coming in. I'm sorry, people, if I'm missing ones because they're actually coming in here. Quite a bit. Actually, we go back to this. Sean, hey Sean. Sean Taylor, I saw Poltergeist in theater at 5 years old. Great start. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the difference between you Americans. We never get to see stuff in the cinema because it's a 15 or an 18.
Oh, really?
It's legal. It's a legal age. So the cinema.
You're not allowed. They won't even let you in.
No.
Even with a parent. If your parent says, I'm fine with it. Really? Okay.
Nope.
But
legally.
But the good news is the cops can't shoot you over there because they don't have guns. So just sneak in. Nice.
Oh, hold on. This is appropriate.
Yeah, shut up.
From Mom and Pop. Shut up, Tyson.
It must be my mom and pop.
That'd be great.
It's probably both of them crowded around
you. All right, real quick. So Castellar has got a couple more in here, and I'm only going to post the ones that I know are not on our list here. Teen Gateway Action Horror, the 2 Guillermo del Toro Hellboy films.
I had Hellboy on my list. On my 30.
Horror movie fanboy says. I already said that one. Sorry. Let me go to this one. Gateway Horror, The Devil's Backbone, and Kronos. I love both of those. Kronos, I especially love. Kronos is a fantastic
movie. They're both great. I saw Devil's Backbone at a little like art house indie.
But I almost think Devil's Backbone is too. If we're talking again about
it's intense, like
young
that's
kids, like
yeah.
I would say
there's nothing inappropriate, but to me it's like The Conjuring. There's nothing sexual in The Conjuring either, but right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think that, and again, this is me being very hypocritical, but I think some things could be too scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To show kids.
Yeah. By the way, Peter, I saw your comment, but I don't want to give it away just yet. So if you're still watching, and Tony, I saw your comment regarding that the gag versus Gagu was very different. And you're talking about Alice in Wonderland, but I can't find that now. So I tried. I did my best. Horror movie fanboy says Jason Lives has one of the best opening scenes. I agree with that.
I agree.
I agree. Oh, now this is okay. This one, I feel like Kessler says Gateway Horror, Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. I agree. First off, I love that movie. I would say it's obviously gory compared
bloody,
to
isn't it?
Yeah, it's bloody.
But it's Tim Burton gore,
and it's gothic, and it feels like a Hammer film in a lot of ways. So I feel like you could probably make some kind of argument that could be.
Let me ask you this though, because I wanted to watch this with Ava. My daughter's a little younger than Jake's son. Ava's only 10, and she was gonna go, but she knows how to do this shit better than me. But she was pulling up on the TV. She said, "But Daddy, is this with Johnny Depp?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "It's rated R." I'm like, "No, you're looking at the wrong thing."
No, it is.
And I looked, and I'll be damned.
But it's all violence. Violence, dude.
It's violence.
Casper Van Dien's death by itself is worth an R. Yeah. It's coming from the guy who saw.
I have no pulse when it comes to that kind of shit. I guess, so I don't see why it's R rated.
Castor, the Paranorman. That's a great example of where my head. Yeah.
See, that's responsible parenting.
That is actually probably more responsible.
Someone said Paranorman is what you pick, not Halloween 2.
Yeah, Bino Tubes says the gate 2 had a scene where a dude tries to pay with actual shit out of his pocket at a restaurant thinking it was money. I have zero recollection of that.
I don't remember that.
I will take your word for it. And all that does is make me want to watch it more.
Exactly.
That's all it does. Let's see here. Yes.
Do you have any other movies like Paranorman on the list?
Yes.
In that, okay. Then
yes.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yep.
But there's a whole bunch of those kinds of movies.
I think there's one probably in particular you're thinking of that is one of my favorites. That I will get to, I'm sure. Yeah, it's coming up here hopefully shortly. Tony, at 3-year-old, at 3-year-olds, or do I saw Jason 2 as my first horror movie from memory? Wow. That's something as a 3-year-old.
Mine was part 5.
My
earliest memories was part 5.
Yeah,
and see, of all movies to start with in the Friday franchise, I start with part 5. It's a wonder that I even stuck with it.
Yeah, what was that, Gareth?
Baby feed, he said.
Yeah. The thing is that I would say there was a thought that I was going to have. Oh, that's what it was. First, my earliest horror movie memory is Dr. Paul Bearer on Creature Feature, WTOG 44. I was 4 years old. It's like 1980. And I remember watching 1964's Devil Doll. And it ended up being on MST3K, so it gives you the idea of the quality of the movie. But it was a magician who controls a dummy, right, that he keeps in a cage. And it was basically a little person wearing a paper mache ventriloquist dummy head. And he would go around murdering women. And he had to keep them in a cage. Dude, it traumatized me. And then like a year and a half later, my parents for Christmas give me a Mortimer Snurd freaking ventriloquist dummy. I didn't ask for it. I don't know why they did it. I mean, I had so much like crap with dolls as a kid. It just messed me up. Funny, Castellar, you say horror. Hold up. I know. Let's see. Do you have this one, Gareth?
I did have the I didn't have it as. I don't know if I had it as a.
I don't have it on VHS.
I've
got it on DVD.
I didn't have it as an option, but it's here somewhere.
All right.
Look at that.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna hide this for 1 second. All right. So
Tyson, you still have the Charlie McCarthy doll since he has the Mortimer Snurds?
I have.
I do. It's locked in my dresser right now because
I have a Mortimer Snurd also in a box somewhere locked away.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's under lock and key, but yes.
So my Frighteners, it's got the like lithograph or whatever the hell they're called, the face that moves.
Lenticular.
Lenticular.
I wish I had that one.
Gareth, we will not
Oh,
move
no.
on until you find
It's right
it.
at the bottom of the pile. There.
Oh, you have it too? You have the. Do you have
It's
the
not
one
lenticular though.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's just.
Well,
normal.
not only do I have the lenticular VHS.
He
Sorry,
doesn't even have the lenticular one.
Oh, come
I
on,
apologize.
Gareth.
I'll leave.
No, I have the.
I thought we were professionals on this fucking channel.
I have the 6 foot tall lenticular front of the standee because I was working at the
nice.
theater and they were going to chuck it. I couldn't keep the whole thing, but it was like this giant. It's still in great shape. I've got it sitting against the wall.
Yeah,
here.
I remember the lenticular in the cinema.
Yeah. I love Frighteners is one of my favorites. It's not on the list, but actually I would say that's a good gateway horror movie if you're going to go R-rated.
I agree.
It's not gory or.
There we go. That was.
There it
I knew it was coming up. Monster House, 2006.
In 3D.
I've never seen this.
Monster House is great.
It is great. Who's the voice of the what's his name?
Who the old man? Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Nevercracker. We just watched it. I always try to watch this every year. Yes, he is Mr. Pink.
Yeah.
And I will say, first off, like Jay of the Dead, my good buddy Jay of the Dead, Jay of the Dead's new horror movies, he argues this is 100% like a pure horror movie. If you follow the structure and the beats of the movie, yes, it's a kid's movie, but it follows a horror movie just to a T.
Yeah.
And it's of 2006. Not that I remember much else that came out that year because we were having our first kid and, life gets crazy. But this is my favorite movie from that year. I love this movie. I don't give a damn that it's a kid's movie. I love Monster House. Was this what you were thinking of, Jake? Was this one of the ones?
Monster House, Paranorman, Coraline.
Yes.
They're all right down the middle.
Coraline of all of them is the freakiest
genuinely creepy.
Coraline for sure is legit freaky. Yeah. Let's see here. We got, my goodness, I am failing at comments. I'm rusty, Tyson. I am rusty.
You are.
I'm
like Rusty Nail from
Joyland. Garrison, you can't even handle comments. See, my horror movie fanboy says my parents were horror fans, so my first was renting children shouldn't play with dead things way too young. And that's a PG one. That would be a gateway because that's like PG. It's like, it's fine.
PG is good enough, but
it's PG.
Although if Monster House was live action, I think that would be rated R.
Yes, probably true.
Bob Clark is a sort of a fan favorite on our channel too.
He is indeed. I don't know if it shows. I got my Silent Night, Evil Night, aka Black Christmas poster right there. Let's see here. We got Beto 2's opening scene of Phenomena, also known Creepers. A girl getting head cut off by broken glass. You would be correct, Beto. My 10-year-old self still shaking and trembling and eye twitching from that.
Was that but soundtrack wise, was that Goblin when that scene was playing, or was it Motorhead? I mean, either way is cool, but my favorite part of Phenomena is when Motorhead just kicks it. It's like, what the shit?
By Peter. What are you talking about? Peter? It's right there,
is.
Peter. It's right there, Peter. Come on, buddy.
I saw it.
Let's see. All right, my buddy Rick. Just talked to Rick earlier today.
This is
a great one. Yes,
that was good.
Yeah, Something Wicked This Way Comes. My friend Gamma is also a huge fan of that, and that movie is creepy. Like if you go back and visit it, you're like, for kids, really, Disney? Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
This is the Rick Bradbury movie and not from the adult section, right?
Yes, that would be correct. Tony says 85 TV version of Alice in Wonderland was creepy and scary as a kid, and originally Heather O'Rourke was going to play Alice. I remember that was a comment you had earlier. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Al Lucard says, "Didn't I just see you?" I don't know who that's directed at.
That's me and him. We were doing the first half of Salem's Lot before I started this.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Tony says, "A New Beginning" is my favorite Friday film. Well, good. Don't ever apologize. Not that he was. See, Sean, pretty sure I watched Rocky Horror way too young. Definitely under 10 years old.
I nearly had that.
Yeah.
I was a little older.
Rick, I'm not going to post that comment yet because let's just say it may be coming. It's let's see. Sean referring back to, I'm trying to remember what, now you got this is the thing where you have to connect comments to other comments to where.
Well, I was thinking just because Rocky Horror came up, I'm waiting for Mom and Pop to chime in here in a second.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I watched Monster House with daughters so many times it can't be age. Oh, yeah. It is the most Spielbergian movie that wasn't made during the height of Spielberg era. You know what I mean? It totally feels like a Spielberg movie.
I own it. I've just never, it's probably right here too.
You never watched it?
Never watched it.
Really? Oh, dude, it's a kid's movie. You should watch it with your daughter, man. It's great. Duh. This is like a duh.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It was Monster Squad that we watched a couple days ago whenever
course.
Tyson said show him
Show it
the
up,
gate.
Gareth.
So
Gareth.
that was kind of the lean in for that one.
signed by Andre Gower, of course.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
That's very
Yes.
cool. Yeah,
That's
I also
It
have
was
it,
so
but
bad.
mine's not signed.
It-
It's a brain buster.
It
copy.
didn't do well
No.
in the theaters upon release.
No,
and,
it did not.
like it was like, oh, years late. But I remember, man, this is one of those I can remember seeing the preview on something else that I had rented
Right.
and being like, holy shit, I have to watch this movie. So as soon as it was able to rent, I mean, I wore that sucker out too at the local video store.
Because
Love Monster Squad.
I rented it during my school lunch, and then the teacher let us watch it in class because I think it was like end of term or something. So
That's
we got to
pretty
watch the
awesome.
whole thing.
I was
Hadn't
such a
done
nerd
it.
that I even I got one of those paper cutter and I tried to make the Monster Squad business cards just like
Oh, I got one
just
here
like
somewhere.
that.
I made
Yeah.
myself. There it is.
I was in sixth
Awesome.
grade when it came out. When I saw it, and I remember I was so obsessed that I convinced a friend of mine because I lived about 3 blocks walking distance, obviously, from a graveyard, and he was going to come over to my house, stay overnight. We were going to make all the gear we needed. We were going to then sneak out, go to the grave. I mean, we had a plan, man. I don't know why it never got
To
executed.
kill
but we had a plan.
monsters.
To kill
Amateurs.
monsters. Yeah, we were going to do
Yeah.
it. And then somebody
How
chucked
bad
it out.
is
It wasn't
it?
me.
So I'm gonna say it's a close. It probably outdoes the Treehouse from Stand by Me, but those two are those not the coolest? Like movie
Yes, I wish I had
Treehouses
Treehouse
ever?
Club. Yes, I wish I had either of those.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Castellar says, obviously, this is from earlier. I said he had posted a couple. I was like, they're
course.
coming. Yeah, Monster House and Monster Squad. So thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, and also,
Rock until you drop.
by the way,
Run till your brains
I
fall
do
out.
believe Mom and Pop said it's just a step to the left.
All right,
There it is. There it is.
Oh, we're dancing tonight, are we?
go to bed, Mom.
Sean, so much said 3D at the theater, one of the few that was actually worth it during the 3D boom. Yeah, man.
It is good 3D. I have the 3D Blu-ray.
Oh, wait, it's here, Tony. Joe, I love you. Thank you. 'Cause for those that don't know, my goofy Gilman name, yeah. And then horror.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did this on purpose, horror movie fanboy. Say Gilman has nards, but I am representing with my. Hold on, let me see if I can step up. Wolfman's got nerd shirt. I'm wearing it. Got it. We were at Spookala a couple of weekends ago, and I got that one, and Tyson got his.
I'm in the goddamn club.
club.
all right.
Yeah.
How bad? Who wanted to be Rudy? Show of hands. Like, I mean,
100%.
Nobody makes penny loafers look cool.
And by the way, like when you go and rewatch the movie, it's like this guy's like 20, hanging out with a bunch of middle school kids.
It's creepy as hell.
And he's dressed like it's 1954. Like none of it makes any sense, but it's wonderful, and I love it. And I'm all about. And also,
We
I was
were wondering if you perhaps by chance have ever been dorked.
I miss the days when there was like literally no filter for like, okay, this is gonna be a kids movie, but we're gonna have them say the most inappropriate crap, and
Yeah,
we're
I
just
love
gonna
it.
be and like, you know, it's just,
kids and F words and
yeah, whatever.
At least once a day, I'll do something to like either smash my finger or something it's along those lines, and I'll do it, and I'll just go bogus.
Yeah.
Bogus.
Yes.
Tom Noonan, brilliant.
oh yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, he is. Rick says Twilight Zone. Yes, that is a good one, dude.
Want to see something scary?
Yes.
Scary
Once
as
you-
shit, though. That's what I mean. Like that's
Yeah.
again responsible parenting. Is it too scary? You know what I mean? There's no TNA, no language that I remember, but
One of my compatriots from Terror on the Tube, horror unicorn herself, Allison. Although I realize you're using a different last name, so maybe you didn't want me to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. William Castle's 13 Ghosts has a live action Disney vibe. Yes, and that is another great one. That, and of course, I'm sure
and talk about
Haunting of Hill House. Everybody would agree with that as well.
well, and I love 13 Ghosts because talk
House
about
on
being
Haunted Hill,
before of its,
House on Haunted Hill.
ahead of its time with tongue-in-cheek humor with Margaret Hamilton, was the family maid.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we have our own witch. And I think that was the first time that like she came out, you know what I mean? It's like how brilliant was that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I meant the House on Haunted Hill, not the Haunting of Hill House. That's the other thing. That was on Netflix.
I always say the wrong one.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I meant. Okay, hold on. Beano Tube says my kids shit their pants. It's so good. Coraline is such a brilliant, creepy animation. But yeah, Coraline to me is actually legit scary. There's some creepy ass moments in that movie. Let's see here. Is there an extended cut anywhere on disc of Monster Squad? Yeah, I
Monster
don't
Squad
know.
is like 70 minutes, isn't it?
It feels very, but that's what I personally I like that. I like that it's like in, out, boom, done. It's like it doesn't overstay its welcome. You're like, it's always feels fresh when you watch it after a year's passed.
I think we ought to mention too. Shane Black wrote it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Black and Decker.
Yep.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
Monster Squad. Yes, I thought you meant Monster House for a second there.
So the pedigree was awesome. Stan Winston. Did
Yes.
I would
think
agree
Ed
with
Lund
Pumpkin.
as well from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Peter, most of the old Universal horror movies would probably and like I would Abbott
Absolutely.
Costello Meet Frankenstein is a great. I showed that to my kids when they were very little.
See,
We just
here's
watched
the
that
thing
last
about
week.
the class.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say. The thing about the class, like nowadays, that shit's easy to get, man. When I was a kid, like it was hard finding that stuff unless you had a friend like Jake, whose dad freaking ripped AMC 24 hours a day. Like, dude, how many? Like, you want to talk about like a sick, like not bootleg, but like recorded off an AMC VHS collection. Jake's dad, dude, had stacks of shit. Like that's how I saw
Still
all
has
the
them.
original.
He still has them.
Yeah,
That's
still has
awesome.
them.
Yeah,
I gave him one of my VHS players not too long ago because his finally died.
Oh, that's amazing. I love these stuff. My uncle who passed away a couple years ago when I was growing up, so I feel like the statute of limitations is up on what I'm about to expose here that he did. But he owned a TV shop for like 30 years right across the street from my high school. I worked there part-time sometimes. And so he had, and I can't remember what they were called, but they were basically like a copy guard breaker. And so, because a lot of movies had the copy guard on them when you rent it from the theater. I mean, sorry, from the video store, not the theater. And it was a copy guard breaker, and he got me one too. And he had like just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, because he would go to whatever the Blockbuster, whatever was around him. He would rent like 3 or 4 movies. But he wouldn't watch them right away. He just bring them home, pop them into his 2 decks, hit record, hit play, walk away, finish, return them, get some more. And like he would just do, and every time he would always put like 3 on 1 tape. There's always like 3 on 1 tape.
Yeah.
And I saw tons of movies that way as well. Again, I'm pretty sure either A, the fact that statute of limitations would be up, or B, the fact that he's no longer on this mortal coil probably gives him an out. Unless we're going to say,
I'm going to put this out there.
Go ahead.
What?
I'm going to put this out there as a gateway horror choice that it absolutely doesn't belong there, but just because we're talking about Jake's dad. So I already mentioned that the Evil Dead I saw for the first time at Jake's house. And I want to say the first time I ever saw Todd Browning's Freaks.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
that's my fault.
Like a
I
VHS.
I have to show that to my kids. They've never seen that. They've seen a lot of black and white, so they'll watch it. Real quick
on that kind of thing, every Friday night growing up, we would have pizza night. So we would make frozen pizzas and we would watch a old comedy and an old horror movie. So we watched Marx Brothers, W.C. Fields, that kind of era stuff, and then these old black and white horror movies. I actually have out of my college. SIUC, they had a public station, and there was Irv Kopey. I don't know if I can get this.
Hold on. Let me move this.
Oh,
I don't know if it'll let me.
So,
I guess it all just go to
that guy right there is Irv Kopey. He was the host of a double feature stuff on Channel 8 on PBS.
I love horror hosts, and I don't know that I've ever heard of Irv. What was this in? What state?
Irv Kopey. It was in Illinois.
Okay.
Out of Carbondale. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man,
And,
I love horror.
That was my growing up, was that age comedies and horror movies.
I will check in my copy of television horror movie hosts to see if Irv is in there, because I swear
going to the.
I don't think I've ever heard of him, and I've heard of like
Joel, you would dig it. It's like one of those college like public access kind of,
and maybe that's
like college channels.
This I think was written in the 90s. It was more about like the ones from the 50s, 60s, and the 70s, maybe some of the 80s. So maybe he would. I don't know if he'd be in here. Irv, you said, right?
Yeah.
Irv. No, it's not here. Oh my God, we'll have to look him up. That's awesome. That's freaking cool. All right, back to our list here. Let's hear Beto Tube. Sorry, I had to hide your thing. Monster Squad is the best. So jealous of the Treehouse. Kids love this film. It's actually like Stand By Me, Universal Monsters horror film. Yes, I agree. Yeah. I have always loved Monster Squad. It never gets old to me.
Yes, it does.
Let's see, Sean and Tony. I will get back to your other question in a minute here. Sean, Blu-ray menu for Monster Squad is really cool. Posted it on LOTC recently. I honestly don't remember. I have it on Blu-ray, but I don't remember I'm trying to remember what it is. I believe you. I trust you. I trust you, Shot. Quick question before we move to the next one. So Tony says, when y'all were young, what real life things scared you based off a movie you saw? Gareth? I think we established mine.
I was trying to think. Ooh, real life things. The dark.
I got an easy answer.
Open
for this, so.
spaces. Trees.
Damn near everything.
All right, Tyson.
So honestly, no bullshit. Getting serious for a second. Old age and illness. I think we've established Pet Cemetery and how fucked up
Zelda.
Oh,
hold on. You mean
so that idea of every time we got to do it. It's getting stale. Look, I have goosebumps. I have legitimate freaking goosebumps. Damn it! But no, like for real, like that idea of even that doesn't compare to Zelda and the idea of being sick and being, you know, what I mean, like not having control of your like that. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I was hoping one of you was going to say like some kind of social ill, and I could just like immediately remove you from the call. All right, so
offensive jokes.
Yeah. I honestly, I tell you what really made me was things bad in the world that would happen to just good people. That was what scared me the most. I think we already established my weirdness with dolls. Jake, did you say something that was
No. Horror movies never really affected me too hard. I mean, there was some stuff that really freaked me out when I was a kid, but the first one that really I remember the most was seeing Halloween. I saw Halloween when I was real young, and that's realistic for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's just darkness and that mask coming through. Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude. My kids, I showed them Halloween 2018 a couple days ago. Tyson, I forgot to tell you I did this. And they've only seen the original and 2018 now. And I did that on purpose because I was just as an experiment. Because my kids have seen my kids have seen many older films and they love older movies. So it's not like I felt like, oh no, now they only like the new stuff. It wasn't like that. But their takeaway, they liked it. It was fine to them. But Connor, my middle son, who's 16, starts going on this whole thing about but why he prefers the original. And it was all about the way the cinematography and the blocking of the shots and the editing and the pacing. And it's like,
you got to understand though, your kids are not normal, but in a good way.
True.
I
That's
say
fair.
that.
I know what you mean.
They're not brought
weird.
up to be
to
understand cinema. You know, there's not a lot of 15-year-olds out there that are discussing cinematography.
I know, but it made me proud. I was like, my work here is done. I can leave now.
Exactly. So I'm assuming then the next one's going to be Resurrection. Yeah.
Ooh. Are you ready to laugh? That's what Parker wanted because he so badly
trick or treat, motherfucker.
That's why he wants it because he knows Busta Rhymes says that.
Oh, because he's big into rap, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I want to see Busta Rhymes say that, and he kicked Michael in the face. I was like, I will show it to you, but we're watching 2, 3, and 4 first, and then probably 7. Then, and it's not that I dislike. I don't hate 5 and 6, but I feel like
I've said this before. I'm going to promote it. We get no money for this, but folks, if you are fans of the Halloween franchise, read the Taking Shape books 1 and 2. You can read about it's basically behind the scenes of the movies that were made, but then Taking Shape 2 is essentially all of the unmade sequels because Halloween's one of those franchises where everybody from Quentin Tarantino to obviously Rob Zombie were pitching Halloween projects. And there are so many awesome Halloween movies that never got made, and that's what Taking Shape 2 is about. So I cannot recommend it enough. And the reason I say that is because they did something with the Busta Rhymes. They were going to do a sequel to Halloween Resurrection where they really continued sort of the Busta Rhymes
Dangertainment.
Dangertainment. And it ain't half bad. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Although I will tell you that Tyson was a real mensch, and he bought me both of those Taking Shape 1 and 2, and I've yet to finish the first one. But it's not because I didn't like it; it's just life. And I also read really slow. It's pathetic. Let's see here. Tony said trees and Star Spangled Banner scare me. I wonder what that's from. I know Sammy Terry, Sean. Sammy Terry in Indiana was a horror legend. He said still brings it back around Halloween. Yes, I know Sammy Terry is for sure.
Wow.
Pumpkin and Peter, Freaks is awesome and freaky. Good point. And yet again, here to troll us. God bless them. Mom and Pop. Rachel! Don't be a whip, Tyson. Your own mom and pop.
You're at least 26.
Do you see what I've had to deal with for 33 years?
I love that so much. I love that so much. That's great. Tony says he used to see Heather O'Rourke outside the back door through the plexiglass window after he found out she died weird but true. Dear God, no. I'm a grown-ass man. I looked over, saw a little blonde girl who I knew
but
be gone.
Like, it was part 2, right?
She's
like the creepy where they did the makeup to look like the old guy, right? Redmond, or was that part 3?
That was 3.
It was like creepy old man.
That was 3. I think that was 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next up, Lost Boys.
Really?
Really?
Love it.
I don't know. Well, I wasn't going for gory on mine, but
I feel like it is a little gory.
Head.
But you know what it is, Lost Boys to me feels like they tried to make it that Brainbuster cover. It's hard to tell in this shot, but it's awesome.
I know it's Japanese with the bat. Dude, did you see that? I got to show this off. Did you see the actual the cassette? I wonder if I can zoom it. It's not.
Nice.
Let me try to bump the brightness up here.
Yeah, come on, Tyson.
Yeah, what is this amateur hour?
I'm trying. It's a stupid. I know.
If I switch you out, and then I got to figure out how to do this better. It's out of focus a little bit.
I'm so.
There you go. There you go. Right there. Right there. Good enough. Good enough.
Isn't that cool with the bat and the blood? I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Brainbuster. So my sister and I were talking about this as to whether or not Lost Boys is considered gateway horror. There's no, I mean, the language is
mild.
It's
really only that one scene at the campfire that makes it really R-rated.
Yeah. See, and that's what I thought. But then you think about the ending in the bathtub, I mean, there's a lot of gore. But I immediately thought with the bald guy with that, you know, the now you know what we are. Now you know what you are. Yeah, you know that
it's only a 15 in the UK. It's not bad.
Yeah,
still, I think that this goes on the list. You know,
I was on the fence about this one. I really wanted to put my personal vampire favorite, which is Near Dark, but I realized, that probably wouldn't actually be gateway horror. but yeah,
I've shown Levi.
But you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. So I've seen, and Jake, do you remember this? I don't know if it was just Star or whatever. But do you remember when TNT would play the Lost Boys every fucking weekend? You know, and again, Mom and Pop are still probably watching here, but they would you know, they were constantly going out and gallivanting. So I always had to watch my little sister. And this was like our weekend. Like every time I had to babysit, you know, we would watch the Lost Boys. That's why we both adore this to this day. But the point I'm making is things like AMC Plus, where you can like especially this month with the Fear Fest, you know, that's a good way to watch some of these that in their true form, you know, or maybe not considered gateway horror, you know, but they're made, you know, they're edited for TV.
Yes.
So things like Lost Boys.
I did that when my kids were younger. I did that with several movies when my kids were like much younger. That was the way I could convince Mom to let them, like, hon, sure, we could watch the original Halloween. Yeah, there might be boobies in it, but not in the AMC version.
Some might consider that like blasphemy to watch those versions, but I think if you're talking about introducing your kids into franchises and
I don't know about you
like
guys.
I said, the Lost Boys. I don't know how much editing they would even do on the Lost Boys.
Not other than the blood. The blood.
If you can catch those TV edits, that's a great way to get kids into.
Yeah. Well, and I would say too. I don't know about you guys, but Gareth, I don't know if they did this over your way because I know you guys are much more liberal with the boobies on your TV. But I feel like growing up as a kid, a lot of my first viewings of horror films, I wasn't with my cousin, were on like regular TV, so they were all edited. Like the first time I saw a lot of the Friday the 13th they were doing like on Channel 44, they were doing marathon. So the first time I saw like several Friday the 13th movies, they were edited for TV. I think the first Friday the 13th movie I saw edited for TV, and then when I finally saw it, I was like, "Holy crap, this is way gorier." But yeah, so I feel like there are a lot of people, at least of our age bracket, or maybe old farts like me. They also, Tony, I don't know if you're still here, Tony. I think we're coming up on something that you will want to see here, but let's go to the next one. There it is. Son of a bitch. I hope he didn't leave because he said, got to go for a little bit, but wanted to mention Return to Oz again. Yes, Tony. That's why I didn't post it earlier. Have you guys ever seen Return to Oz?
Not completely.
Yes, it's been a long time, but I remember it being freaking the shit out.
It's not a horror movie. It's not a horror movie. I'll tell you right now, it's not. But it is nightmare fuel. I mean, it is the synopsis. Dorothy returns to a dystopian version of Oz, facing terrifying new foes. And the damn tagline, "There's no place like home," for a nightmare. I'm serious. It is so a gateway horror movie. I remember seeing that in 85, so I was like 9. I was like around that age. I remember watching it on HBO or whatever it came on. Holy crap, is it creepy.
That it is.
Yeah, visually, the dude on the left there, I remember that. And the same thing, like all the stop motion in Clash of the Titans, the original Clash of the Titans, like that scared the hell out of me too. I remember as a kid.
Yeah. Real quick, Big Bill, Butcher, Van Vagel. Hey guys, what has everyone scared tonight? Gateway horror, Bill.
So far,
Return. I think we're all agreeing this is the scariest movie on the list. So.
Zelda. Always.
Yeah, I was going to say this is Zelda for kids.
That's true.
Always Zelda.
Yeah, it's always Zelda. Sean, I do agree with you. My kids thought this. Don't attack!
Cujo.
Don't attack!
There's a Terminator.
Cujo, that's a good gateway horror movie for kids. That won't traumatize them at all. Especially if you have a really big dog in your house. That'd be great. Corey Haim's wardrobe is scarier than the vampire scenes in Lost Boys. Sean, my kids thought his wardrobe was hilarious.
I would wear that today.
I would too, but they thought it was. I would do it to embarrass them, quite frankly. Let's see here. Bill says my daughter loved Godzilla when she's 5, which is also when I introduced my my children to it as well when they were 5. What is her Lost Boys? She is 9. She made my kids. I think my youngest was like 11-ish, 12-ish. I think we may have watched the edited on AMC. Maybe I don't know. Lost Boys. Maybe it wasn't edited. I don't remember because I feel like again, other than those two scenes, there's really not much in. There's barely any language. It's not that bad, so it might be. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Tony was here. Yay. Good. Glad Tony.
Yeah, there we go.
Felt bad if you'd missed the. Oh, here we go. Horror movie family. Richard Dawes scares me as a kid. He's terrifying. The roller monkeys. Yes. Like they topped the flying monkeys. Those freaking things. Oh my God. Yeah. The Wheelers. Yeah. Yeah. Tony says they're called the Wheelers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Go. And
I won't have the film in the house.
Yep. Oh, you won't have it in the house? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Sean, creepy ass movie for kids. Wheelers. Yep. Oh, that's right. The evil lady switches heads of young women she's killed. Isn't that in there? That's in there, right? I forgot about that.
I purposely forgot about that.
Let's see, Allison. Sorry, that's not Allison. Sorry, I'll go back to your horror movie fanboy in a second. Allison, I saw Return to Oz in the theater when I was 5, and it messed me up. Oh yeah, that would have really messed me up. Kids. Yep. Horror movie fanboy. That's my birth year, buddy. I'm born in 76, so this was scary upon renting. People. Yeah, we're youngins. Oh, I'm not the oldest. That's right, Garrett. I forgot. You're my senior. Barely, but still.
Yeah, but you look the oldest. I wouldn't
okay. Fair enough. Yeah. It's the bald head. It's because I lost all my hair when I was like 20.
I got the StreamYard special makeup thing on.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Is that the filter?
My line.
Filter?
Filters.
Let's see here. Bill, I want to show Ella, that's his daughter, The Gate, but not sure it holds up so well to current political. Oh, no, it's not politically correct.
Yeah,
if you're worried about that, bro, then yeah, don't bother. But yeah, but those that know me, I know. Yeah, it is what it is. See, Scooby-Doo cartoons. Yeah, some Scooby-Doo cartoons were legit.
I was going to say Zombie Island, yeah.
Let's see here. House with the Clock in the Walls. I have not. That's Eli Roth, right? I know
that
it's
is
more of a kids movie.
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah, fun gateway horror. Really, here mentioned. Yeah, I didn't see it, so I can't speak to it, but
it was fun.
Okay,
it was all right. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I saw TCM when I was 11. Explains a lot. Yes, it does. But I just showed my kids that, by the way, for the first time. One of my kids, I will tell you, I will not out him on the stream, would not watch it. He said he thought it was going to be too much for him, and I was like, dude, I'm telling you, it's not. You've seen so much worse.
Jake, I feel like I popped my Texas Chainsaw cherry with you too. I think
it's a possibility. It wouldn't surprise me,
dude. So I always mention this to Joel, but what's the backstory? The cardboard cutout that your dad used to put on the front porch.
Oh, that was actually from the. What was the name of the video experience in Centralia?
Yeah.
They were getting ready to throw it away or something, and Dad asked him if he could have it whenever they were done.
It was a Leatherface standee for was it part 1 or part 2?
It's 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a huge standee. And the chainsaw blade folded out, and I think it got ripped off after years and years of being in there. But yeah, we had that out for a long time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the let's see here. The Mombi King was scary in Return to Oz. I vaguely remember that. I haven't watched the movie in years, so legitimately traumatized.
I just won't.
I love horror fanboy for Bill because Bill said he saw I would say Turner Classic Movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre when he was 11. It led to his love for the Guinea Pig series. Yeah, speaking of gateway horror, if you want to be arrested, Let's see here. All right. So, and by the way, at any point, I know I'm going relatively fast here, Gareth. So, if at any point you have like something you want to feature, VHS oriented, let me know. We'll go to the next one. Tremors.
No, Tremors.
Yes.
Now, Tremors isn't really scary per se, but there are a few moments.
It's a monster movie, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
So
We
good.
watched that not too long ago too. Levi loved it. It holds up so
it's
well.
so great. I love those characters. I love everything about this movie.
This is my favorite Kevin Bacon movie.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I told him that there was a bunch of sequels, he asked about if we were going to watch those. I don't know how deep we'll go. But
I only think I ever saw 2 and maybe 3, but it was literally.
Isn't it
I've
up
seen
to
them all.
7 now, or the last one?
Yeah. I
haven't seen any.
I've
of the
seen them
other
all, but they all blended.
This was another one every weekend. It was like Friday night was Lost Boys, Saturday was Tremors. Every weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. Tremors.
Every
I saw that
weekend.
in the theater with my dad. Tremors. I loved it
Oh, cool.
from minute one. Yeah,
Thank you, Earl. That's another one that gets quoted
Tremors
daily.
is
in
pretty
my
good.
family.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
needs
Tremors
more
2.
bacon.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I don't remember much about it, but I remember. Let's see. Tom says Ella mentioned she would be interested last night. She wanted me to read some. Oh! I thought we got up to show her. Witches. Hold that thought,
Yeah.
because boom,
Oh, I forgot to bring that down.
the Witches. Do you not have it, Gareth?
No, not on me.
Gareth, you have let us
Listen,
down. Gareth,
I'm sorry. Well, I got another 29 here, so
Oh, well, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. Yeah. So funny you bring that up, Bill. The Witches. Yeah. You know, so funny. I didn't watch this movie because 1990, I was already like going in like ninth grade or 8th. Yeah.
exactly.
So it was
I
a
just
little
watched it.
past me as far as like,
You were
when
too
it
cool
came
for
out-
school.
well, you know what I mean? Like I just, it's a kid's movie. I didn't want to see it, but I would see clips of
Mhm.
it. And I remember thinking, what the hell is this? Especially like this lady on the left. I'm like, what is happening?
Mm.
So yeah, I can see somebody who grew up with this movie, it being very traumatizing.
Spoilers, it's not a happy ending.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Roald Dahl. So yeah,
Mm.
Roald Dahl stuff is great. I love that Roald Dahl stuff is just downright like it's for kids, but it's just mean. It's just like he didn't give a crap. He's like, screw you. You know what, kids? Good fairy tales are supposed to traumatize your ass, so they prepare you for the real world, like the
Good.
Grimm brothers knew. All right. Any other comments about witches? Anybody? I figured I'd throw it on here because it seems like a gimme.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay,
Nope,
we're
I
moving
got
on.
nothing.
Killer a clown. Apparently, one clown. Killer clown. It should have been clowns from outer space.
Oh, look at this.
I know. Typo. I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. I do not buy into the whole, it's so bad, it's good. No, it is a damn good movie. The Kyoto brothers effects are great. Everything about it is great. Suzanne Snyder I met her. It was wonderful because I also love her science. And my inner 13-year-old was like, and I met her and why am I bringing forgetting his name? The guy who plays her boyfriend in this. I got it both and the Kyoto brothers got them all to autograph a poster that's sitting up there.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Kyoto brothers.
Yeah. I love it. So anybody else a Killer Clowns fan? I know you are, Tyson. You're not, Gareth?
Yeah, I haven't
No,
seen. Honestly, though, I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's on the list. It's one of the next ones we're gonna watch.
Okay. Have you seen it before, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it a bunch of times.
Okay. Gareth, what the hell,
I
man?
saw it when it came out. I wasn't interested. I saw it a few years ago to give it another try, and I still not a fan.
Really? What is it?
I know. I
curious.
apologize.
No. What is it? What is it about that you don't that doesn't do it for you?
I don't know. Maybe I just don't. It's a silly film with clowns that kill people. I should love it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It is that.
It
It is very much that.
I feel what it is. The horror part of it, though, is the clowns legitimately are creepy looking.
Yes.
If that damn thing showed up at your house, you would run screaming. There's no
Then
like,
they repurposed them for Ernest Scared Stupid.
yes.
Oh, that's another good one. Is that on
Yeah.
our list? Ernest?
No,
Scared
it's not.
Stupid?
I didn't put it, but I should have.
Oh,
None
what
of these
list
days.
is this? Who made this list?
Jake, I saw
Are
that.
you
in the field,
drinking right now
Mike Gelsinger.
100% Hungarian Miak or whatever?
Miak. Yeah. Bet you didn't think I'd get it this time of year, did you?
Oh, Peter says I'm the senior. Yes, you are, Peter. You're
Ah.
right. He's a grandpa for God's
I
sake,
will,
literally.
Brought to you by Insure.
Bill, have a great night too. He says, "Have a great night, boys. Got to go buy some Halloween candy from the dollar store. Keep core alive." By the way, Frankenstein is my fake. Oh,
What
yeah.
a great American.
Yeah, well, he's a Canadian. He's a Canadian.
Oh, is
actually.
he? Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
I
he's
mean,
Canadian.
I said North American.
North. He said, "Great in North American." Thank you, Bill.
Good.
Appreciate you being here, buddy. Yes. Let's see. I think we got at least one more left. Yes. And this was
Never
one.
seen it.
What? Really?
Never
I saw this
seen
for the
it.
first time last month. It's very
I haven't
Okay.
seen it either.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
It's free on
Now,
YouTube.
okay. To be fair, it was a made-for-TV horror movie from 1985. Okay. And I also am trying to find the content. I know that Peter, you mentioned it earlier, and there's somebody else. It may have been, hold on, it may have been Castellar. Somebody else mentioned it in there. Then I was like, I know. I don't want to give it away yet. That I've got it on here. There we go.
Give it away now.
And I know Peter was the other person
There
that
we go.
mentioned Midnight Hour. So yes, to me, I had not seen this. I knew my buddy Doug talked about it on his show a long time ago, and he talked about when he saw it when he was younger, I believe, and how it like really affected him. And it's one of those great things in the 80s, especially the mid 80s. There's because the boomers are all the ones making our entertainment. It's sort of like how people, Gen Xers, are like making a lot of the entertainment now, so they infuse it with like 80s stuff, right? So they were infusing it with the 50s stuff. So we would get all these like 50s storylines and characters, like with Heavenly Kid and obviously a lot of the Stephen King stuff. And the Midnight Hour has that aspect. So that on the left-hand side here, you'll see the girl in the white sweater. She's like a cheerleader that comes back from the dead. All the other corpses, by the way, look like corpses, except for her. She's very habada, not the zombies though. But it actually stars a very young Sherry Belafonte, daughter of Harry Belafonte. She's over there on the right, and she's one of the creepier moments. Like that she vamps out. Spoiler alert. Her eyes, like it's creepy. And there's a moment involving, I believe it's like a wine cellar. It's been a minute that I watched it, where there's a vampire moment. It's actually like, I could see if you were a kid watching that, you would be like, you couldn't go to sleep. It would have freaked you the hell out. So it's one of those movies. LeVar Burton, a very young LeVar Burton is in it.
Yes, he is.
Peter DeLuise of Dom DeLuise's nephew, right? I believe. Lee Montgomery, who I don't know, the name may not be familiar, but he was in like Ben and actually he was Bobby in that Dead of Night trilogy we talked about earlier. He played Bobby. Cindy Morgan, who I believe plays the hot cheerleader, and Kevin McCarthy, which everyone knows Kevin McCarthy, right? From Inner Space is like the first thing about my head. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Was he Weekend at Bernie's?
Wasn't he in Weekend at Bernie's?
I don't know. You tell me. I remember.
I think you're thinking Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah, Andrew McCarthy. Yeah, I'm talking about
Andrew McCarthy.
Original. No, Kevin McCarthy is the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers lead.
Oh, right. Yes.
Inner Space and movies like that. So Midnight Hour is a fun movie. It's made for TV. I think it's available on YouTube. I don't know if it's available in physical media. And then Peter says, I love the Midnight Hour, and hint, Joel, it might be on a certain made-for-TV movie list. Whatever do you mean?
Peter put it on the list.
Yeah, well, apparently it was put there. Let's see here. All right, cool. I think, is that the last one? It may have been the last one. Boom, the end. Look at us. We made it.
Professional. Look at that.
Look at that, man. All right, so we have some time left. Gareth, you brought Show and Tell. I'm sure there's many, many gateway horror films I did not get to.
There's another TV movie. You mentioned, was it Richard Matheson and who was it? The other guy.
Was it Night Stalker?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's okay. Darren McGavin. Yeah, Darren Gavin. Gavin McGavin. McGavin, right?
Darren McGavin.
Shooter McGavin.
Yes. Richard Matheson. Yeah, wrote the screenplay.
Who was the other one you mentioned earlier? That old TV show you mentioned.
Oh, Dan Curtis.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Came from those.
Yeah. So, hot take. I prefer the Night Strangler over the Night Stalker.
Isn't it Cisco?
One of them on VHS somewhere over here, but I don't know what it is.
One's Vegas, one's Cisco, isn't it? Or San Francisco. Oh,
Seattle.
No. Seattle, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Where the underground.
You're not even from this country, so we'll give
I know, I don't know.
Yeah, and as bad as we do. Yeah.
It's Merca.
Merca?
Right.
There you go. Team America. Oh, yeah.
Then I got this one, The Haunting from 1963.
I just watched that with my kids about a month ago.
Yeah.
Love that movie, dude.
Oh, there we go.
Love that movie. So great.
That's scary.
Yes,
it's
really
I was a way late bloomer to the original Haunting as well, though. So I don't have a feel for how it would work as a gateway horror because I was in my 20s, I think.
May I just interject real quick that on the Brainbuster Halloween Mixtape 2024, I'm literally staring at Double Dare right now. Remember Double Dare, the Nickelodeon game show?
Oh, yes.
Hell
I don't know. I'm assuming it was something like a Halloween themed double there. So random.
Well,
I'm like,
sticking your arm up that giant nose is pretty horrific. And
that is true. Allison
slime
said,
made from
I also
applesauce.
prefer the Night Strangler. I think it's
Ooh,
the fake
see?
Seattle Underground sets.
That's a woman after my own heart.
Yep. There you go. What else you got, Gareth? Ah,
We didn't have horror hosts in the UK, so
you had
we had to
Elvira.
import them,
Yes.
both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. I didn't. I think I saw this on release. Yeah, on VHS.
You know what's funny? I'm
We
going
didn't know
to
who she was.
confession time.
Uh-oh.
I don't know that I've ever seen that entire movie. I know I've seen parts. I know I've seen parts of it.
Go ahead.
Right.
But I just legit like I'm trying. I don't remember it, so
Well-
I feel like I may not have seen. You know what I mean? Like I just.
And I think that's what's awesome about Elvira, though, is the Cassandra Peterson character and the movies is the inappropriate innuendo humor is so fast that it makes for good gateway horror because for most kids it's going to go over their head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you won't have a lot of explaining to do other than the way she's dressed and her massive pumpkins.
All right. Next up.
I didn't even notice those.
Right.
No, of course not. You're a gentleman.
I'm a British gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah. Iraq. Oh, why did I forget arachnophobia?
Good.
I thought I
Oh
was
my
dealing with
God.
professionals.
You were not.
I know it.
I'm gonna
Damn it.
remove myself off my own live stream.
And we
right now.
love John Goodman on this channel too.
I cannot believe I forgot arachnophobia. Son of
Yeah.
a
Jake, did you meet John Goodman? Did you meet John Goodman
Ooh.
once? Jake?
once at a restaurant here in St. Louis. I
Nice.
went over and shook his hand. And
He's
was
from
it.
that area. so.
Yeah. He grew up in
Oh, cool.
Afton, which is kind of around South City. And
Right
he was part owner of some restaurants in the area and something. So
I'm gonna do that annoying thing that everyone does whenever somebody says they met somebody famous. Was he nice?
For the 3 seconds that I decided to go over and shake his hand, he was very
Was
nice.
this the
Nice.
Roseanne TV show era, or is this like a little further down the road where he's more like
oh no, this would
Big
have been,
Lebowski era?
Yeah, this would have been in like 2003.
Oh,
maybe.
okay. All right,
Okay.
close,
Oh, nice.
closer to Big Lebowski then. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, we're big fans in this country of King Ralph. So
Yeah. Of
I
course
was
you
a
are.
lousy king.
I don't know if anyone knows the Carry On series, which is British
No.
comedy.
I'm sure Peter does, but I have no idea
But
what
this
that
is a British comedy from the 60s. They made about 20 films, and one of them was a spoof of Hammer films. It's like Carry On doctors and nurses and police and everything. But yeah, they made a horror one.
Oh, cool.
But
Hold on.
You
Horror
Yanks
movie,
wouldn't understand it.
Horror Movie Fanboy says, "Hey, I'm in St. Louis too. Don't
Meet me in
dox,
St. Louis. or
don't
Louis.
dox yourself, Horror Movie Fanboy."
Because this, yeah, I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
Jaws 1, but yeah, Jaws 2 is still a PG over here as well.
It is.
even
It
though
was
it's
here too.
bloody.
Yeah, and I would say Jaws 2. A lot of people knock it. I actually like Jaws 2 quite a bit, and especially the scene where they're like on the flotilla,
Yeah.
and the girl slips off. It's just that where she's trying to get her legs are kicking, and you can just see him. Oh my god, I hate
Yeah,
that.
just takes
so
her from
much.
the
Who's
side
the,
and
yeah, but
Yes.
who's the chick that was in the Angel movie?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, I
she's
knew you were
in
gonna
that,
say
yeah.
Needs the
She's
living
like,
"Oh!"
shit
That's his
slapped
name,
out of
wasn't
her.
it?
That's
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
she's so annoying.
Teen hooker by day, night, isn't it? And schoolgirl
Yes.
by night. Such as the 80s.
How funny! How
What do you got?
funny! You should bring that to the. Did we do this last time? I feel like we did this one last time too. This is my
Hey,
fog.
reverse.
Yeah, that
Is that from-
Tyson.
Is that
That's
from
what you-
Dick's video
Yes,
rental?
remember we discussed this on Garrett's
Ah,
pod.
yes.
Yes, we had 50. So this is what I love is that Tyson gave this to me a while back. It still got the 50-cent hour late charge after 6 p.m. So 50 cents an hour for every hour past 6 p.m., which I'm sure they're closed. Right.
Dick
And
is
this
a
is
dick.
a 50-cent rewind charge, and the name of the company, Dick's. That is so appropriate for the fog. on
Don't be
VHS.
late.
My mom did introduce me to the fog too. But I think I was like at the perfect age for that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another-
It is creepy.
That's another
Oh,
one of those perfect.
agree,
There's nothing
Horror Movie
inappropriate,
Fanboy.
but
It's crazy.
scary as hell.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great. I showed that to my kids too, and I love that movie so much. All right, I got one
Yeah.
for you. I
Okay,
see
we
your
go.
fog, and I raised
Okay,
it.
there you go.
And this is a brain buster. one as well. Okay.
Ooh.
Now, I guess do I have to like drag myself at the top just to make myself the main one? This is so dumb.
Oh, whoa, come on.
I got to figure out how to do this better. All right. So I've got Mr. Boogedy, but they did it as a Nightmare on Elm Street cover.
That is a ripoff, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know if, has everyone here seen the Mr. Boogedy series? That was
I've
on.
seen the first. I've seen the first one. I haven't seen
Mr. Boogedy and
not.
Bride of Boogedy. They were like back in the 80s and early 90s. They had these like made for TV movies that Disney put on. I think it was like well, probably was ABC since they own it.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know if at that time it was ABC. But Mr. Boogedy, I saw as a kid. And it's got Richard Mazur in it. Christy Swanson, but the original Buffy's in it. Dude, it's great. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite like childhood.
I watched it a couple of years ago with Levi. It still holds up.
Yeah, I mean it's also got the kid who played the Benji, whatever his name was, the kid from Alf. The one who played the son in Alf. But yeah, it's one of those movies that it's super like 80s cheesy in a lot of ways, but there's moments where you're like, what the hell were they thinking? It's for, like little kids. What do you got, Gareth?
All right. Like there's some gore in it. But...
Now, yes, I showed that to my kids, and they're old enough now that's not that big a deal. But I forgot, like that movie's like got like Tarantino level of profanity in it. Like I was like every other word, they're like, "What the f are you effing doing with the effing?" I'm like, I'm really glad I waited a little bit longer because I didn't want my kids walking around. Hey, Dad, what the f are you effing?
And
yeah,
75% of those F-bombs come from Betty White. That's the
yes, I think they did actually. Yes. Another. Oh, go ahead, Gareth.
Officer fuck meat.
That's because Cloris Leachman's in the third one, I think, doing a similar character.
Yeah, I believe so. I've only seen the first. I saw the first one for sure, obviously several times, including in the theater. The second one, I feel like I saw, but I don't think I know. Is there like four of them? Is there like four?
There's four, and then there's Lake Placid versus Anaconda, and then there's Lake Placid Legacy.
Anaconda's another great one. I showed that to my kids. I love Anaconda. I freaking love that
movie. Think so?
Yeah. That's so great.
I did have that.
It's like
I finally figured out how to make myself solo and everyone else, Gareth, without having to drag
yeah,
I know. Look at this. I'm a quick learner. I think I did this on our last one, Gareth.
Yes.
But Night of the Comet, I think, has some great gateway horror-ish moments. Plus, I just wanted an excuse to talk about Night of the Comet because it rules. For what it's worth.
Who's it? Kevin Tenney did that? Or who's the director?
Oh, no, that was Tom Eberhardt because he also did Night Before. Did you ever see
the Demons, I'm thinking of.
Okay, Kevin, did you ever see a Night Before with Keanu Reeves and Lori Loughlin that Tom Eberhardt made? It's one of those like rich white kids get stuck on the bad side of town and they have to learn the ways, to like how it's I love it. It's so wonderfully. It's early Keanu, so he's kind of Bill and Ted ish.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little bit like whoa.
Roll him up.
Have you ever seen it, Tyson? The Night Before?
No.
Dude, you gotta watch it. It's
I
love
it.
Yeah, it's a great one. I love it.
Yeah, I picked up Anaconda. There it is.
Okay, Anaconda. Yes.
But then, of course, Feed Me
yes.
Seymour.
Of course.
Love Little Shop of Horrors.
Indeed.
Son, be a dentist.
Be a dentist. I don't know if anyone knows this one. Time After Time.
Yeah. The Jack the Ripper.
Yes, Jack the Ripper, Time Traveler.
David Warner and
right, yeah,
Malcolm McDowell, from director Nicholas Meyer.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a great one. That's a great movie.
It's one I used to watch on TV loads, but it was like on in the afternoon.
That's PG, right? It was a PG movie, but
it's a 15 here. But I guess
here in the States,
the TV version it would have been PG that I saw. A fairly newer one here, Final Girls.
That's 2015. Is that the one for 2015
yes.
where they go, dude? That movie.
Oh, that was
is so effing good. It is so good. Like I remember people say, "Oh, it's good." How the hell could a damn like meta slasher kind of satire? I got teary eyed in that goddamn movie. I did. It's
that good.
Great. Have you seen it, Jake?
I haven't seen it.
Dude, it's such a dice roll when you do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's that one has been come up on some streaming stuff because I showed Levi Happy Death Day and Totally Killer.
That's a good
both of
I feel like Happy Death Day is a good gateway horror.
Oh, it's fun.
There's
Yeah,
not much
for
gore
sure.
in it.
I still haven't seen Happy Death Day because so many of my friends talk shit about it. I was like, I thought
Oh,
I
it's
thought
really
No,
fun.
dude, it's worth.
It's really fun.
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
the lead girl was cute. And I'm like, but I really don't want to go.
The sequel is sci-fi. They pretty much take away the horror part.
All right,
Yeah,
I, didn't-
that's
I will watch.
But they're
it at
both
some
fun.
point.
It's a fun. It's a worthy double feature that you won't hate me or Jake for recommending.
I got you.
We
There's one that-
watched the first one, and then when Levi saw there was a second, he's like, "Can we watch that one?" So we just turned on the second one.
Yeah.
Real quick, we have a couple comments. So, horror movie Alpha Finale was a horror movie. Yes. Yeah. Didn't he end up getting taken away?
It was they did a
Spoiler
movie,
alert.
didn't they, afterwards to
Yeah. Oh my
calm
God.
people down.
Turn the Blue Iris. James Furman off of the BBFC said the fog should have been an X in the UK. We used the executive power to pass it as a AA, which I guess a 14, as he thought it was a good scary movie for teens.
Yeah.
Oh, how generous.
He's the one that banned all the video nasties.
Ah, well,
And The Exorcist and
F him.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2
Right.
was banned as well.
I'm not a fan of
Tommy.
the censorship. So-
There was another new film. Was it this year or last year with the time traveler with the girl with the splash movie goes back to the
Fucking
80s? Oh,
Okay, Jake, that's got to be my dad now. So it's Friday night. They're probably having cocktails. So, all right. So story time. Jake's first car was, what year was it? A 70 or 69?
74.
A 74 Volkswagen Beetle that Jake, before I could drive,
Bright
used to pick me up to school in. And in the wintertime, it was miserable because snow would come up from the floorboards. And I lost like four Zippo lighters. But the beauty was, because it was a Volkswagen, it was rather compact. Like, during the blizzard, I could just lean out the windshield wipers would freeze. So I would have to lean out the passenger side and scrape the ice. So
Yeah,
Damn
the
foreign
heating
cars.
that would make a
heating
good
and
Christine
everything
spin-off.
for that. The heating
Yeah.
and everything was like a fabric thing that went across the bottom, and so it got a tear in it one year. This is before I had it, and they turned the heater on, and snow started coming up inside. And so whenever they scraped everything off, the floorboard started rotting out. So there was holes in the back seat. So you couldn't put anything on the back seat because if it rattled, it would fall off and it would be gone. So
Yep.
everyone loves their first
I
car.
love that car.
quality piece of machinery.
in high school, I had a buddy who had
Hey, let's face it, too, though. There was a bit of, I'm pretty sure there was some level of demonic possession with that car, too.
Yeah, I had a friend who had a VW bug in high school, but his was a lot better shape than that. If memory serves. So horror movie people say, or referring, I guess, to the VW comment, or a souped up 80s Pinto. Well, of course. Turn the Blue Iris.
Yes.
You are one of my new best friends. Night of the Con, greatest B movie ever. Yes. Love that movie. I love to always point this out. I own teenagecometzombies.com because I'm a complete idiot. Which it doesn't go to anything. I need to have it go to something. I need to just make a website with a single thing of Kelly Maroney, giving you a snarky look. Like Daddy would have gotten us Uzis. Or no, whatever she says. Kevin Tinney, Night of the Demons is in my top 10. Very nice.
I could only make it as far as Linnea quickly bending over, and then I lose track of where the movie's going.
Oh, you don't get to the lipstick scene? Little Shop of Horror at the Muni, MUN. What does that stand for? I don't remember. In Forest Park in the 80s. Great. I know that stands for something. MUN.
He is.
It's an outdoor clamshell theater.
Okay.
Local.
Nice.
Okay. Hold on. Yes, fanboy. I agree. Adrian Barbeau is excellent in The Fog. Yes, she was.
Adrian Barbeau is excellent. in
Pretty much,
everything.
yeah.
And Cannonball Run.
Hey, guys, so I don't forget. Great conversation, good movies, good comments. I'm signing off now. Take care. Talk to you. Bye, Pumpkinhead. Talk to you soon, buddy. Love you.
See you, Peter.
Cool. All right. Do you have anything else, Gareth?
Couple more.
Couple more. Let's do it.
A lame stuff.
You know what? I saw that in the theater
good one.
when it
No
came out.
nudity and no blood.
And I remember,
good
I actually, because that was one of those Scream sort of
Denise
knockoff-
Richards, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in a hot tub, but she keeps a kit on.
Denise Richards is in that. Okay, yeah. And then I'm thinking of Urban Legends got the chick that was in all the Noxema commercials. What's her name? Rebecca Gayheart, right?
And Danielle Harris.
Oh, that's
as
right.
As a goth girl.
That's right. Oh, is that Urban Legend?
That's Urban Legend, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I
an 18.
remember I know it's funny.
I
I'll
like
just
both
admit
of
it.
those.
I actually liked them too back when they came out. And a lot of people was especially real horror fans, why do you like that crap? It's garbage. I like them.
We watched I Know What You Did Last Summer a couple nights ago.
Oh,
Oh,
my personal opinion
It's only a
didn't
15.
quite hold up as much.
hold on,
Really?
wait, hold on. There it is, Gareth.
There it is.
Nice. Okay, I actually tried watching part of it on TV about like 6 months ago. It was like on TV. I was like, oh, I haven't seen this in a long time, and I remember thinking, remember this being so much cooler. Like
I was gonna say, man, like, do you remember when that came out? Like that, it was like, it was on the heels of Scream, right?
Yes.
So it was like that, like
Buffy was in it.
Yeah,
I didn't read the book. I had no idea until recently, honestly, that I Know What You Did Last Summer was based on a novel.
Yeah, Lois Duncan, right? It was like a YA novel. Yeah. Hold on. Tony says, I'm back from shaving my head as the horrors of baldness have struck me like Jason's machete. Tony, who you telling,
you
buddy?
Ain't the only one.
Yeah.
You ain't the only one.
Who you telling there, Tony? Look at this. Come on.
Right.
I like to say I beat male
Every time I come to
TV.
record at Joel's for Mom and Pop Video Shop, I have this fear that he's going to tell me he has to do something he can't even believe, that he's going to have to give me my dream shot and send me to Top Gun.
I feel like that was a jab. That's what that was.
Slight, but it's because I love you. I really
break up.
I know. Horror movie fanboy. Valentine is an underrated slasher. I need to rewatch because I haven't seen. I think since
it's not bad.
Oh yeah, what I was thinking that too. What are you waiting for? That was totally not an excuse for the filmmakers to have Jennifer Love Hewitt in a tight shirt do this move with the camera above her. That was not there. That was not an excuse at all.
They didn't put it on the back.
Last night I watched.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
Tyson, go for it.
No, I was just saying. So last night I watched Wrong Turn.
Oh, I love Wrong Turn.
Don't know that I would call it gateway horror.
No,
but,
it's not gateway horror. No.
And dude, freaking Joyride. Like I forgot how.
Hold on.
I forgot. I mean, you know how we feel about road horror, but
Nail. Oh yeah.
It was so good, man. It's so good.
That movie rules. I would have watched that again with my kids. I showed them Breakdown, which.
And look,
I'll break down.
Steve Zahn is a fucking national treasure,
dude. That thing you do.
Everything.
I will continue. I know Daryl has to bust my balls about the thing you do. He makes fun of me for loving that movie as much as I do. I don't give a damn. That thing you do rules. Steve Zahn rules in it. I love it.
Treme. Jake, did you ever get? We talked about. Did you ever get into Treme?
I never saw it. No.
You got. It's a commitment because it's like what 4, 5, 6 seasons. But speaking of John Goodman and Steve Zahn, Treme is excellent. That's
a David Simon show, right?
I don't know who the showrunner was. I think so.
The guy who did The Wire. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Joel, it's the heels of Hurricane Katrina. So it's dated, but it's basically everything that New Orleans is known for. The food.
What was it called?
Music,
I missed it because I was reading.
Treme. So Treme is a neighborhood in New Orleans.
I've seen the stuff about that.
Steve Zahn's one of the stars, and he's fantastic.
Oh, dude, he's great. He's so great. So Allison may win the comment of the night. Ready? The characters that I know what you did last summer all seem so depressed that it's like the killer is doing them.
That is true.
Everybody had fucking undiagnosed.
Oh yeah. Well, what's hilarious? It's like so many movies now. Like and maybe it's just me. Maybe me being an old fart. I don't know. But I always feel like when we were growing up, like horror movies were like normal, quote unquote, normal, relatively happy people, well-adjusted people are living their lives. And then suddenly this horrific, traumatic thing happens that they have to overcome. Now it seems like when everyone's pitching their horror movie, it's like, well, my characters, they are in a real place of trauma from like the beginning. And then this really other traumatic thing happens and they have to recognize the trauma. It's like, that I feel like I know what you did last summer may have been like the one that helped start that. Where everybody,
one of the big horrific things that happens to one of the characters in that movie is that her hair gets cut.
That's right. That's right. Isn't that Buffy? Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar the one? Yeah.
She's
like, yo.
It's all degrees.
Yes, it is. Tony says Urban Legends is better than Valentine. Memory serves, that is correct.
I would agree.
I would say yes.
But I feel like Valentine was better than Urban Legends 2, if memory serves.
Then what about the third one?
No, I didn't see that one.
Was it Bloody Mary?
Something like that. I didn't even see it.
All right, one more.
Oh, one more. I got one more as well. Let's do.
Ghoulies.
Although you know what, that's not my favorite Ghoulies.
That was on AMC a couple nights ago.
I love Ghoulies. And by the way, I saw Ghoulies when it came up. One of my first video store memories: Armchair Theater Winter Haven, Florida. I'm 11 years oldish, right? Because I came out 85, right? It was when it came out at so probably 86. I was like 10-ish, maybe. And I remember going in and seeing they still had a wall with beta tapes on it. And Ghoulies was up towards the top because it was the coming out of the toilet. And I remember that stuck with me. I'm like, what is that? And my dad like maybe within the year rent it for me. And that part where her tongue comes out and wraps around his neck, I freaked out. And he's had to turn. He's like, God, Joel, God, okay, fine, I'll turn it off. He turned it. He was annoyed with me because I just couldn't take it. He had to turn it off because that damn scene where her tongue, because her eyes like are really wide. And something about that just freaks me out. So yeah, but Ghoulies 2, in my opinion, is the superior movie.
Yeah,
I love
Ghoulies 2.
More so than Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies go to
college. Yes. Ghoulies 2 is at a carnival, and I don't know why. I just love that. I just love it. Oh, and Tony said, yes, it was. Urban Legend 3 was Bloody Mary. So good call there, Gareth. All right, my final one. Let's see if I see who if you guys know this one. Ready? Hold on.
Dun, 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 dun.
We do the solo layout. Here we go.
Do we do a drum roll?
Making Contact.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, 1986, I think.
I remember you talking about this, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, it says 90 on this part of the box, but I know it's not 1990.
The packaging is it?
There's zero chance it's 1990. It's like 80 something. It was a Roland Emmerich movie. He directed it. All I remember about it is, I don't know if you could tell, there's the ventriloquist dummy. This kid has it's very kind of poltergeisty in that something happens with a closet, and the kid has like these psychic powers, and there's like the ventriloquist dummy can talk. It is freaky. And it helped contribute to the trauma that I experienced with all the doll horror that I was exposed to as a child. So, all right. So that is all of our stuff. Let's see. Tony also said
the only other one I was going to mention, because the Christmas season is right around the corner, but Gremlins. We didn't. Really
I almost included Gremlins on the list. But it was I kind of felt, but I had Critters. I felt like that kind of covered the tiny terror. Can I be honest with you? I didn't put it on there. I think Leprechaun could be. Leprechaun is a mild R-rated movie. It is not. It should be PG-13.
There's a lot of gray area. We've talked in the past about the Changeling. We've discussed the Changeling being
that's
that goes back to like, that goes back to like where do you draw the line with how scary something
I would
is,
say Leprechaun is much more of a gateway movie than the Changeling is.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Gareth? Did you have
No, I agree. I was just gonna get my Gremlins on there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Again, my dad took me to see that in the theater, even though my mom didn't want him to. Divorce is a wonderful thing. Oh my God.
We're working things out.
Yep. Oh, hold on. See, horror movie fanboy said Urban Legend 3 Bloody Mary is great. Never mentioned. Okay. Well, I will say I have not seen it. I haven't seen 2 since it came out. I remember not liking it.
Is that the one where they make a film?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's 2. I don't remember anything about 2. I need to rewatch those. I kind of feel like I would love to go back and do like a rewatch of a lot of those, like right after Scream, all those movies, and just see how. I remember. I still know what you did last summer was hot garbage. With Jack Black with his Jamaican accent.
Yeah,
man.
My
God. Oh, was that is that where they all win the sweepstakes and go to the island resort?
The singer Brandy was in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so stupid. And
it's almost like they were just trying to like make a buck. I think with that maybe
definitely.
Actually, I think Tony, Arachnophobia. I could be wrong, but I think you spelled it. I do think you spelled it right.
Pretty good there. Yeah.
And it says a great. And he already mentioned. I think you were out when he mentioned. He did mention that one. He held up the tape. 2 is the movie within a movie. Says Tony.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. That sounded familiar. Since I haven't seen 3, I'm thinking it must have been 2. Let's see. Horror movie fanboy. Yes. With the wrong capital of Brazil of radio context.
And they were in college.
Yeah. All right. So, any other thoughts about gateway horror before we wrap up this bad boy?
I actually thought of something while you guys are talking. A New Beginning got mentioned a bunch of times. Not that it's gateway horror, but there is I highly recommend it. There's a music video for, I think the song's called A New Beginning. And the band is Wolfie's Just Fine, another movie reference. But it is a song about the kid who sees a new beginning at his friend's house.
Oh, I've seen that. It's awesome. The music
video is beautiful.
Awesome. I love it.
Cool.
So if you haven't seen it, please.
Tyson, have you ever seen that video?
No.
You'll love it.
Nobody cares about me to tell me about
it. Wolfie's Just Fine is the name of the band.
And wasn't the kid?
I just remember the song I remember the song the chick from New Beginning plays that in the unedited version where she gets stabbed in the crotch. I'm an innocent, and she's doing the robot.
Isn't the kid in that video? I could have sworn he is actually went on to do something else. Gabriel Bateman. He is best known for.
One of you send me the link.
Oh,
I want to check it out.
He played Andy. That's right. He was in the Fables. He played Andy in the new Child's Play. But there was something else he was in. What else was he in? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe because I had seen the new Child's Play and he was in that. So that, dude, yeah, it's so good. Oh, that show.
The singer of the song is Jean Lajoie, which is a Canadian comedy singer. He was also in The League, that TV show.
Okay.
But his band is great, but the video for that song is wonderful.
The kid in the video was also in the Annabelle and Lights Out. That's the other things he was in. So I knew he was familiar to me. But yeah, you do. I gotta find that video to show you. Tyson, you got Gareth. You gotta watch. It's great. It is it's so good. Oh, good call, Jake. Excellent. Yeah. And so on that note, thank you everyone for being here. Let's see here. Wait, hold on. We got a couple more. Tony says Bloody Mary's is saying her name in the mirror type story. Got it. That makes sense. A great Choo reference.
Yeah.
Wolfie's just fine.
Yeah.
Wolfie's just
fine. That's right. Nice. The white robot.
Your foster parents are dead.
God, I love that movie so much. All right, so thank you again for everybody for being here on the stream, and hopefully we'll at least get to doing like one a month. Although I will say Gareth keeps inviting us for some reason because he's obviously a glutton for punishment. He keeps inviting us on his show, so you can always catch us over Video Tasties. We're happy to
you emailed me saying please.
Oh please! I love that. Like, oh please, Gareth, don't forget us. We suck. But Gareth is a very generous host who has allowed us to. Deign to be on his show with any kind of regularity. So thank you, Tony, and
that check hasn't cleared.
Horror Movie Fanboy and everybody else. Jake, thank you for being here, my friend. Gareth, of course.
Yeah, man.
Video Tasties.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Tyson, you probably felt like you had to, so thanks anyway.
No,
I don't know why Tyson had to bring
this
with him.
was a blast.
All right, so on that note, remember, at Mom and Pop's, our love of
Tenebrae.
Really?
Speaking of gateway horror, what? Or you want to go with the Craft?
I had the Craft
in
my list.
That's maybe a little better for gateway horror.
For the lads.
Never.
I got
okay, or maybe we're gonna
Basic Instinct.
That's yeah. Okay, I think it's now officially off the rails. So we will now bid you a fond adieu.
And